Happy Sunday, everyone. Super happy to be here. And you can see this little guy here over off to my side. This is my grandson. So he's playing with the angel cards as we're chatting. I've got some amazing guests going to join us today. If this is your first live catching me live, I am Stacie Overman. I'm the founder of this amazing Facebook group. I'm a spiritual guide and a coach and a mentor. Today's topic is all about really how to handle this new earth, this new situation that we're finding ourselves in. And my guests are going to be bringing some tips for all of you guys. Yeah. Oh, Brody wants to remind us we've got the singing bowl here. You want to? Awesome. Beautiful singing bowl sound. Thank you, Brody. And yeah, so if you've got questions, like chime in. We'd love to answer them. So I'm going to bring Trish on because she's actually right here with us. Hi, Trish. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, doing good. It's been an interesting ride. For many of us spiritual light workers, leaders, people in this group, we have been experiencing downloads and waves of energy now for a good probably year and a half. And we knew something was coming, but we just didn't know what it was. And here we are. Whoa, big reality. Yeah. And so what's been happening during this whole reality shift for you? Like how you've been handling it? What's going on?
Yeah, so it's a lot of it is you can feel the energy. It's a lot, especially being an empath. You it's almost like a nervous stomach at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you wake up at 4 a.m. and you have no reason, no idea why. So the energy is crazy, right? So it can exhaust you.
Right.
So one of the things I've been looking at doing is I use essential oils.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my oils. So I have one that it's a formula that I've mixed, and it comes in I use it all the time. And so if anybody's got oils, there's 5, you can look it up and make your own recipe, or you can PM me if you really would like some. But that just seems to take the edge off. And it really does help with all this anxiousness in the world. So, and obviously, I'm sure other people will pop on and they probably have some great meditations and grounding, because that's huge too right now, and just getting outside. And that's why I'm sitting outside right now. I thought, oh, this is a good way. It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's cold. I got my winter coat on and it's cold, but it's beautiful.
Totally.
And I think when you have to stay at a distance from people, getting back to the basics and Mother Nature is going to be huge.
It is. And I love essential oils. And you gave me that great mix of how to reduce the stress and anxiety. And I'm like, I don't know, you had a little thing that you called it. And I'm like, I'm rolling that on. What did you call it?
Yeah, I call it chill, but it's like a liquid Xanax. So it really does. Yeah, it just takes off the edge of everything,
Yeah.
It doesn't make it all go away, but it does make you feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And any little thing that works for you, like, essential oils, if that works and helps calm your nerves and your anxiety, find some that works for you, because that's the key, is finding what works for you. Somebody else might not think that essential oils work for them, and that's okay. But getting outside, like you said, like I've been trying to work coaching calls around my grandson, and it's like, okay, well, it's your time, buddy. Like, we're going outside. And it's been whoa, you're dropping all the angel cards, bud. Hold on. You got a mess. Hold on. But going outside is huge, right? Like, it's been too cold to take my shoes off. But this is my grandson, if you're just joining us. But being outside is huge. And when we are social distancing, it's almost like you're not alone feeling, because you're connecting with the earth, you're connecting with the trees, you're hearing the birds. It doesn't feel so isolated, if you will, right? Like, it's connected to the oneness, really, all of that. So I love that you're outside. Yeah, totally a great tip.
Another thing too is food wise, what you can do. Vitamin C is real big, right? And it's not just oranges.
Mhm.
It's, strawberries, broccoli, things like that you can do naturally to help boost things too.
Right.
So you can even think about it that way.
Right. Totally. Yeah, it's so good for you. And and most of us in this group, hi Brody, most of us in this group are somewhat of a spiritual leader, right? Whether we are really like leading big tribes or we're just being that light in our community, not really coming out of the closet, but we are that light, right?
Right.
So, as a spiritual leader, this crisis time is a time to double down and really be the light and the hope that other people are needing, because there is a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety of the unknown. And the other day, I had mentioned that. God isn't always here for our comfort. Sometimes He makes us so uncomfortable, so we'll change. And as we can see, like the whole world is changing right now. We're changing the way we do business. We're changing the way we're socializing. We're changing the way everything is happening. And I don't even know that in my lifetime, we've never had this pivotal moment of
No.
this big of change. Like maybe we have in other lifetimes, but not mine. Not mine. Yeah. So this is huge. And the other thing that was coming to me this morning was, like Jesus is the Prince of Peace. And so if you can just lean in to whether you believe in Jesus or not, there was someone that came here that led this Christ consciousness light, led with hope, led with love, led with all of this. And that
And
yes.
Yep, and I think you're absolutely right there. And I think that's another thing, because there is so much fear, and it's okay to have it, right? It's okay, but you can't let it drive you, and you have to be positive and have faith in Jesus. I think if you keep that hope and spread that love, this will be a lot easier.
Yes, absolutely. I even wrote down some notes to share here, and that triggered my thought was, we are the creator of our own thoughts. And so use this time to shift the way you think and pour yourself into personal development, or pour yourself into service, or pour yourself into something that can shift you out of a fear state, right? Like service, coming and doing something for people that you know how to do something for, even if it's a live video, right? Bringing hope, bringing something. Doing
right, calling,
yeah,
calling the neighbor, calling somebody that you don't, because obviously you're supposed to not be close, but also, I mean, there was one woman that was trying to figure out how to help to get donations to some other people,
yes.
right? So it can be all done online.
Everything, yeah, we can do this online.
And by the phone.
By the phone. I even downloaded the app this morning called Voxer, and it's an app that's kind of like a walkie-talkie. You can record a message and then you can send the recording. And I'm like, that I plan to do that all day today. I'm going to record messages and I'm just going to send to people because I want to know that they're okay. I want to share some hope, share some light, because we can't do a whole lot, right? But we can do a whole lot if we get out of our way and start thinking outside the box. And I think this is really going to pull us together in a whole new light, right? Like it kind of reminds me of the old-fashioned days where we played the board games on the weekend. I grew up in Southern Idaho. If it rained, we didn't go anywhere. It was, hey, we have a pantry full of food. We've even got the powdered milk in case we run low of the dairy milk. And we just played board games all day. And the phone never rang. We weren't distracted. And it's kind of bringing us back to a little bit of that old-fashioned basics of, bringing us back to basics. I just clicked that on there. Thank you, whoever that was. And bringing us back to those old values, right?
Right.
The way we use
keeping it simple.
Slowing it down.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Pause is my big thing, right?
Yeah, pause.
So.
Yeah, totally. Wow. Thank you for sharing, Trish. I just love seeing
You're welcome.
out in this brisk sunshine.
Yeah, I made circle.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, the cards, bud. That's not good for the angel cards.
That's my circle.
Yeah, well, those angel cards will be blessed with his little punctured circle forever. We did pull a card this morning, though, for everybody. And it was so interesting. From my angel deck, it says, overcoming difficulties. I'm like, mic drop. This is Archangel Jeremiel says, the worst is now behind you and you are surmounting any previous challenges. So let me get this card up there. And so really, for me, am I in fear of the virus? A little, like my husband's got to go to the store today. And I'm like, man, dang it. I wish that he didn't have to go to the store today. But, but really it's more about, what is other people going to be doing when they get into fear mode or they feel a scarcity? Like what's going to happen there? That's really the only thing I'm concerned about. But other than that, in our home, like besides the fact that we have a makeshift kitchen and I have a hot plate and I had to hurry and go fill a freezer because normally we eat out most of the time. I was like, oh, dang, we've got to buy some food. Other than that, I've had the tummy problems. It'll just hit me all of a sudden, nervous. And I feeling as empath, feeling the world, that nervousness.
Yeah.
And I just ground that energy, walk outside for a minute, just ground, get back into my body. And then that nervousness goes away. But, I'm just because we're spiritual leaders or we're coaches or we're mentors, I just don't want people to think that we're not affected. It kind of freaks us out too sometimes. And we've got that human side of us. It is the unknown and we're maneuvering it too. And we're maneuvering it in the best possible way that we can. Hey, Brody, let's not play with that. Come sit on Gamma's lap. Oh. All right. And we're figuring out how to work with little ones at home, right? It's changing our whole dynamic. I think it's also going to lighten the world up. Right? I can remember, okay, hold on. I can remember trying to work from home in years past when my daughter was little. And I would be like, oh my gosh, I don't sound professional. I've got a kid in the background. They're not going to pay attention. My whatever I was doing wasn't going to work because I've got a kid in the background. Well, it is what it is.
Yep.
Now everyone's got a kid in the background darn near, right? My daughter had to work. So the safest place for him was with us and not being shuffled back and forth to a daycare.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I do.
I did coaching calls and he had to say hi. So, we're rolling with it. And I think it'll help the world lighten up. What do you think? Will it help the world lighten up? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just be happy? And just want to play?
Yes.
So, yeah. Do you want to go play with? Oh, they said, hi, Brody. Hi, Betsy. Betsy says, hi, Brody. So, I think the whole world after this comes to somewhat of a normal pace. Hey, Brody, why don't you go get your cars? I think we're all going to lighten up. It's I don't think that all the employers are going to be so hip on having to have a big old brick and mortar to house everybody. Maybe we can actually work from home and be in our space and have our children around to see us working from home. And Brody's a natural healer. He will be, I know. He likes to lay his hands on my crystals and say, Gemma, what is this one saying? And he puts it to his heart and listens. It's so cute. But I think we're at a pivotal moment, a pivotal shift.
Yeah. We even had a councilman get on YouTube and who would have known that he sings. Oh. And now he's been doing concert, for everybody and sharing. And I thought, that's great.
Yeah, that's so cool. That is really cool. Wow. Well, I think that we have, is Kim ready to come on? Feel free to join, Kim. We've got Kim going to join us. Thank you, Trish. Trish is one of my mastermind clients. She is an amazing spiritual leader. And so take her up on that tip with essential oils because that can really be helpful. And getting outside. Getting outside is grounding that energy. Woo! And, at my age, I'm not used to 4-year-old energy. So, here we go. It's keeping me tongue.
And
Yeah.
Lego.
We don't share in the meantime.
We don't tell you I don't.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, Kim, you have a blessed day. Thank you for sharing your tips. I loved it. Bye.
Hey, yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
okay. So let me get. I'm just. No, I don't want that. I don't know how to let you go, Trish. So I think you might have to just disconnect. And then we'll bring the next guest in when they log in. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah. All right. So Kim, if you are watching and you want to jump in and share some tips with us and how it's been going for you. I know Kim just traveled from outside of the country back to the US. So I'm sure there was some nerves there. But what are you guys doing that's helpful for you? What's happening for you? While we're waiting for Kim or one of my other guests to jump on. Okay, hold your car. Gotta be quiet because we got the mic right there. So your cars are really noisy. Be quiet. Some other things that I had wrote down here was, I think it's Romans 8:31, and it says something to the effect of, if God is for us, then who is against us, right? And then there's another spot in the Bible, and I'm not exactly sure where it's at, but it talks about take captive of our own thoughts and choose a different thought. So it's kind of like what Trish and I were saying. Hey, Brody, can you go over on Papa's chair and play with your cars? Thank you. Yeah, we'll be done in a little bit. And so really just taking thought, capture those thoughts that you're having. And when it pops up in fear or anxiety or stress, yes, Jess is a great proponent of getting outside. She's one of my mastermind spiritual leaders too, teaching people how to calm themselves from stress. And getting outside is her go-to method. I love that. But really just when that thought pops up or that anxiety in the gut pops up and shows up, just switching your thought process to a gratitude. What am I grateful for, right? If we can think about something completely opposite, or how can I serve, then that can really help you to bounce out of that anxiety and that fear mode. Leslie says getting super organized helps keep positive vibe in the household. Yeah. Do you know the other thing, when we do deep cleaning in our houses, that is a grounding technique, a grounding exercise. So when we're really deep cleaning, that is helping to ground your energy, which is so cool. Catherine says, I agree with Leslie. Yeah, totally. So let me look at my notes here. If Kim, if you want to pop on, please feel free to join us. Let me just send her a message. My husband's getting home. Feel free to join us. Letting them know. Okay. We have a busy household here today. And anyway, I've got some other notes. The other thing that we can really do is get into a meditative state, right? We can do that by going on a walk in nature. Maybe it's just hanging out in your backyard. Can you help Papa when he comes in?
No.
Focus on burning energy, right? I know, and that's another reason we've been going outside. Let's learn how to ride that bicycle. Let's get outside. And I've been jogging next to the bike. So it's been good for all of us to get outside. But practicing gratitude is huge. And practicing and coming from a place of service is huge. How can I help others? How can I be the beacon of hope? How can I share a message that will help people's anxiety come down? How can I help with a fundraiser? How can I help serve at some level in my community by doing something from home? Somebody says, my emotions the last few months have made me just want to stay away from crowds and learn to like being at home, right? Yeah, totally. Now I know why. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally. I'm not sure who that's from, but I totally agree with you. Yeah. And there's reasons that we feel this way. And most of us in this group are empaths. So we feel stuff before it's even here, right? Everything is energy. And those waves of energy come in for a few days off and on throughout weeks. I would wake up about 4 in the morning and just be wide awake with anxiety. And I'm like, wow, this is not like me. I kind of have been mastering my anxiety. But I'm able to transmute it quickly. But I know that it was not me. It was the waves of energy coming. It was what the world was experiencing. And I was feeling that. And if you've been waking up feeling like, oh, nervous stomach, something's wrong, what's going on? That feeling like, oh, am I in trouble? Or, oh, well, I don't know. I feel out of control and something's happening. That verge of a panic attack feel. That's what a lot of us have been feeling. So to really being the creator of your thoughts. And as soon as that pops up, just really flipping it into gratitude, flipping it into, I'm going to get into a meditative state, or I'm going to get into a prayer moment, or how can I help others? Service, right? Service. Let me just check in on some of my guests, see if they're having any trouble logging in. Here we go. Here is Kim. Awesome. Let me bring Kim on camera. Well, welcome back to the United States, Kim.
Thank you.
I'm glad you made it. Oh my gosh.
It was a little crazy for a few minutes, but
yeah,
I did.
Probably a few hot minutes.
Yeah.
Tense minutes.
Yeah, it probably took me about a day to get everything changed over.
Yeah. Wow. Now, did you fly back earlier than what you were going to?
Yeah, I was supposed to come back today.
Okay.
And I got back Friday. So
how were they getting people on planes? Like, wasn't the planes like already going to be full?
Where I was at, the planes were empty. The airports were empty.
Wow.
The resort was empty. Like they said they were at 20% capacity at the resort that I was. So yeah.
And you were in Jamaica, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Rios.
Okay. And what were they saying? Like, if you couldn't get a flight out, like, were they kind of giving you an idea what would happen?
No. We were basically told, I'm sure we wouldn't have been staying there. I'm sure we would have probably ended up going to like the embassy and staying there like in a quarantine kind of place. There were, when we left, 12 cases on the island.
There was 12. Wow. And I have no idea how big their population is, but I would imagine it's not like us.
No. And it's poor. So, because we talked to a fellow who we drove around, we went for a little tour on the island, not that far, but he said that their average salary is $50 a week.
Wow.
So they make $2,400 a year.
Wow.
So actually at one point we were driving along and there was a man laying along the road, and my sister being a nurse, we stopped and he was seizing. He was in full-blown seizures and he had a slight pulse, was not conscious.
Oh, wow.
It looked as though he had probably just gotten out of the hospital.
Wow.
So I don't know what was going on. She, of course, disinfected and everything, before we got in the car. So, and she said, an ambulance is coming. He's on his side. There's nothing else I can do for him.
Yeah. It's very interesting when we're in another country. It's so different. Everything is so different. Well, I'm really glad you got back, and I'm glad you didn't get stuck like in New York somewhere and not be able to get home. So being
my flight today would have been taking me right to JFK.
Yeah.
Instead, I went to Philly.
Okay. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're back. So how has the nerves been for you?
Oh,
with all this happening while you're on vacation?
I know. And honestly, it was very overwhelming at times. It was very overwhelming because I could feel it so strongly. Look at me. I was just outside. I could feel it so strongly, and it was very intense. I felt like all inside of me was just, And actually it got to the point at one time whenever I thought I was going to pass out. I'm like, I thought it was the heat though, but
anxiety was that.
I was so anxious. I didn't, but I knew it wasn't because I was anxious.
Right.
I knew I was feeling something. I knew something big was going on because I could totally feel it.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier was I've been waking up to that feeling and then can't go back to sleep. And so it's the world, it's the collaboration of everyone's nerves.
And honestly, I've been feeling like I would wake up that way and I couldn't stop it. Like I could not. The only thing that helped it for me after I realized what was going on was meditation and grounding. So, and I woke up every morning and went to the beach and meditated, did meditations, and every single time, and this does not happen to me often at all, but every single time I saw the face of Jesus.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, this morning in my shower meditation, I was like, so what am I supposed to share? And I instantly heard the Prince of Peace. The Prince of Peace. And I was just like, okay, I'm looking it up in the Bible. Like, yes, Jesus was born. He's the Prince of Peace. And he's here for us. And anytime I've worked with Jesus and he's come through, when I've working with someone or doing a healing, or one time was with myself, doing a healing with myself, it's so calm.
Yeah.
Everything is calm and slow and loving. And I'm always so humbled and full of tears. Oh my gosh. He's right
here. Yeah. And all he lets me see is his face. I have gotten nothing other than his presence. So I felt that that's what he wanted me to know, that he's present and he's with us.
Yeah.
And, I do believe that this is all about getting back to what's important.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely is an awakening. My niece is always like a Debbie Downer, negative Nancy. And she was talking to my sister, and my sister was like, what happened to Tyranny? Like, where's my daughter? And I said, because she's getting this. Like, this is what it's about. Because she was totally like, well, if Jamaica's a place that you're safest, that's where you're going to be. That's where you're supposed to be. And I'm like, right, but I'm not going to chance it.
Go play for just a little bit. I'm almost done. We're rolling with it.
Yeah,
totally.
So I don't know. I just find that meditating is the most helpful. And I actually have been talking to others about making sure that if they don't know how to try and to work at it,
And I was just going to say, like, maybe we could even walk them through a little mini session of it, because that's the one thing I find when I'm coaching my clients is they think that meditation has to look a certain way and be a certain way. And like, when I first was hearing I needed to meditate years ago, I thought, oh my gosh, all I could think of was like the monks on the mountain, and they're in this silence and they have this pose. And if I'm in the pose, I'm like, oh my God, my back is hurting. I can't sit here. Oh my God, I can't get off the floor.
Right.
Right. And so, like, if you don't mind, do you want to walk them through just a little like what it looks like for you?
Sure.
Okay, cool. Just a minute. Kim's talking. Can we listen to her for a second?
Hi, Brody.
Okay.
What I do is I just take some deep breaths and I close my eyes and I just feel in the moment and not think about anything else. I just completely blank my mind. And that's not always an easy thing to do, but I completely blank my mind. And I continue to take deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth several times. And then you just feel your body relax you can start with your toes, work all the way up to your head, or work the tip of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. And just feel every single muscle relaxing. And then all I do is I just protect myself with God's white light. And I'll either invite my angel, or Saint Michael to come in, Archangel Michael to come in and hang with me and talk to me, or I just be and listen. And I listen to my heart. I listen to anything that I can find. I just listen. And I do it for 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes, depends on how long it takes. If I'm feeling anxious, I just sit there in the moment and feel. That's what I do. And it helps.
That is beautiful. Absolutely. Well said. That is how I do it. You know, even if you can only carve out 2 minutes in the day to get started, showing up for yourself,
Yes.
showing up for God, right? To just sit
Right.
with Him, even if it's imperfect, right? Even if all
Right.
you're thinking about is, I forgot to get this from the grocery store.
Right.
Get a notepad, write that down and get back to it, right?
Yeah.
Carve out 2 minutes. Then try to work up to 5 minutes, then maybe 10 minutes. Do you have to meditate for an hour? No.
No.
You
To
know?
me, it's one of the most perfect forms of prayer
Mhm.
because that's what you're doing. But instead of saying the words or giving, I don't want to say giving lip service, but a lot of people learn to just say certain prayers and it becomes just words.
No. Yes, Brody's turning on the lights. Okay, Brody, go play with your cars for a second. We're almost done.
So that's pretty much it. Like it does feel better. The whole relaxing, like you can feel yourself outside and looking, and feeling in the moment. And when you come back to yourself, you feel so much more relaxed, so much more at peace.
Yeah, totally. And like I mentioned earlier, I had a shower meditation. Like literally, guys, like you can be in the shower and asking like to remove everything that no longer serves you and just visualizing it washing down the drain. I eat lots of chocolate. That's helpful for grounding, dark chocolate. But you can visualize that. You can visualize cutting the cords and releasing things that are attached to you, and you don't need that energy attached to you. You can meditate right there in the shower. You can visualize your chakras being balanced and lined up. There's so many things that you can do at the same time when you're taking care of yourself. And meditation and prayer is really something we cannot be without, because prayer is sending up a message and meditation is bringing and listening to the message that's coming back down. So we can have a combination of prayer and meditation, message going up, giving gratitude, and then what is the message that's coming back down to us? Because if we're not listening and feeling into what the message is, then we're just walking around blind.
Right. We're doing a lot of talking and not a lot of listening.
Right?
And
we've got 2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yeah. And yet, what is used the most? That's been hard. That has been a hard thing for me to do, is to listen. And once you learn that, listening and trusting what you're hearing, if you're feeling fearful, this is one of the best things to do, because it does restore your faith. And as you have always said, faith and fear cannot hold the same space.
Right. Brody, wait for just a little bit, okay? Oh, Papa's got to go potty first. Oh, goodness. Let me just send Myra the link for her to join us here. Send her that. There we go. Yeah, totally. The other thing that I wrote down this morning was faith. Like I've been talking about faith. Lean into your faith. Have faith. That faith over fear that you just brought up. Faith is born in uncertainty.
Yes.
When we don't know the way, when we don't know what the heck is going on, we're freaking out. I am not in control anymore. Guess what? That is when our faith balloons, because we have to walk blindly, stepping out in faith, knowing that God has a plan and God's got us.
That's the best thing I've ever done, was to allow that.
Right. Allow. I love you use the word allow, because we have to trust.
Yeah.
that he's got us, and we have to allow it to work through us, and we have to step out in faith, knowing that he's going to use all things for good. So even if it's scary as heck, even if it's like, oh my God, I don't know if we can do this, and you're trying to control everything, you can't.
Right.
You cannot control everything. And we are seeing this prime example. We are all not in control of.
No, and the fear that is going on with this is, it's valid, the people that have fear, but at the same time, I think that if there was more faith in this world, that fear would just be so nothing.
Right. Totally. Oh my gosh. Myra's on, and it looks like I can have 3 guests at a time. So let's bring Myra on out of California. Whoop, whoop. Another one of my spiritual leaders. Oh, Myra.
I miss you. Hi.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that meditation tip, Kim. That was great. And I'm so glad that you're back in the United States so that you can be home with your kids. Oh, thank you, God.
Right. I was never so happy to get home.
Oh, yes. Wow. Well, I'm going to drop you down, and then I think you have to actually just like log out completely because I don't know how to let you go.
Okay, got you.
Thank you.
That's sweet.
Yeah, let me see if I can figure that out. Okay. Bye for now, Kim. Myra, welcome. I missed you. Wow.
I know. It's wild because now, with this lockdown that we're in, it's like I'm reaching out even more. I'm finding that I'm connecting more with people. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. What, Brody?
Tell her.
Okay. Come say hi. Come say hi. Okay. You can tell Myra hi.
Hi.
Hi, Myra.
Hi, Brody.
He's my helper this week. We have angel cards all over the floor right now.
Oh, that's so cool. I saw you on video, Brody, yesterday doing your volcano.
Yeah, she saw you. It was pretty cool, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to sit you up on my desk over here. Okay. Thank you for your patience. You're being so good. Awesome. So you're reaching out more, which I love, because this is the time. We've got to step up. We've got to show that here's the light. Don't forget, God's light's here. We've got to make sure we're sharing that, because there are some people that, they need it, right? Their light is under a bushel, and now they are totally freaking out because they can't feel it. And so I'm so glad that you're reaching out. Wow. What's helped you through this too? Like, what
it's the first thing is faith. Faith is everything.
Yeah.
And we're at a time where everyone's been so connected to the outside. And I've been seeing this for years now. It's gotten crazy. People have gotten more crazy too with it, so dependent. And being forced indoors is actually a good thing. I see it because people are now having to find ways. What is it that they don't know what to do? I'm like, their root chakra is all out of whack. They need to ground. First ground. I do that from the beginning of the day. I ground. I do a lot of grounding. I need a lot of grounding every day now, because everything that I'm feeling around me and what I see. So I go outside, I stand barefooted, I breathe in the air, listen to the birds, I connect with everything. And I'm bringing out my family too. And we're doing a lot of gardening work and stuff. Come inside. I say, let's not connect to any news. We don't turn on the TV. Instead, we're playing music. The music's been playing like constantly, throughout the house. And just for my dad, I've worked on him and I've seen a change. And that's what I focus as far as with the positivity. I told him, don't connect to the TV, because as an older person, there's a lot of people out there that they end up just they zoom into the TV, and I mean, they get into this negative.
It's all consuming. Oh.
Yeah. And he was almost like in a trance, And I said, you know what? You need to turn off this TV. And when he would start talking and repeating the stuff that he would hear, all these fears and worries, concerns, I would say, you know what? You need to stop. And I go, replace that one fear right now with something positive, something that you can actually give thanks, a blessing for today. And that takes them out of that, pattern. Oh, what happened? That pattern of thinking. And so they struggle a little bit, and then it's like once he thinks of naturally, I'm okay, I'm not sick, and it's like, and then he feels the gratitude. He's like, you're right, and thank God. And it's like, you notice that soon after, without even trying, another positive thought comes. So we did that for a few days, where now he's into the zone. Like, he tells me, I think this is a really good thing that we're all going through. The world is changing for the better. And I'm like, yes. So
Really?
It's a lot of grounding, a lot of just positive, being grateful for daily, for everything that is happening. It changes your perspective. Now we see all the goodness,
right,
that we weren't seeing before. If we weren't thinking like that. So
right.
I'm feeling really good. As far as that, I'm feeling closer, stronger in my faith, closer to God, because it's like going back to the basics. I feel that, you don't need a church to go to,
right?
It's inside. So, and everyone's doing it.
Two or more gather in his name. This is church. We're at church right now. Hello.
Right.
Church.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel like we have God's presence more in our home now, because it's like we're working at it. Everyone's doing it, as a family. So to keep ourselves, our vibration high, we're all working at it. We're making sure, okay, well then let's not just sit here. Let's go and do some gardening. Let's go for a walk, and while we're inside the house, let's play the music. And just, I mean, besides my incense and all the stuff, but that's it. We can do this,
Yeah, we can.
It helps for everything.
And it's just having at home. I'm kind of a already. And so I don't sleep very often. So it's kind of like, oh, is there something different? Okay, I'm just here still.
I know that's with me. I'm always home, but now I have like my Evelyn's home, my dad's home, and it's like, and they can't leave. Here in California, he can't leave. She can't leave. We're really stuck here. So it's like, I don't know. It makes our family feels more enriched.
Yeah.
So, and I feel that now we're at a point where it's like, instead of the talk, we're at walking our talk, it's like, okay, putting everything into action. So
totally. I love that. So grounding, turning off the media, switching that negative thought into positive gratitude, all of those.
A lot of showers. A lot of showers, where it's like,
pull it off of you, get it out of your aura, shift the chakras.
Yeah, because we've gone through rain too. So, like if the weather doesn't permit us to go outside, it's like, okay, how else am I going to ground? How else am I going to clear my energy? And I'm like, I'm jumping into the shower and I'm cranking the music and I'm doing it all.
Right.
So
Totally.
yeah.
Ooh, my throat's like super dry all of a sudden. Well, in another thing that I wrote down this morning was, great point, Leslie says, we are walking the talk now. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We really are. Was when we're talking about God, I wrote down, hold on, you're right next to my mic, bud. Don't slap in their ear. He's smacking his leg. It said, I wrote down, if it doesn't hurt you, it won't move you. So, you know, I think about all of this trauma and the drama that I experienced in life, right? The breast cancer, losing loved ones, just bam, bam, bam. And now this is a really huge hit for some people. This is really out of the norm. You know, the job issue, the kids issues, maybe some of them are even dealing with sickness right now. And it's like, is it not? Is it not? You know, it's scary. And so if it hurts you, if you feel the pain, if it is so discomfortable to you, that's what is going to make us move. And with this happening worldwide, this is an awakening. This is going to make people move. And so, you know, I don't want to say like, oh, God's out to make it hurt. It's not that. It's just, we have to be so uncomfortable to make a change, because we're so comfortable with the uncomfortable as it is. And so it's got to get even more uncomfortable to a point of pain that it's disrupting your normal everyday life to make
it. And the thing is that throughout the years before, I mean, everyone became so disconnected, I believe. I mean, in general, the humanity from God, divine source. And it's been more just, we've become attached to, I mean, all the technology, all the new modern stuff, everything, life, the physical stuff. And it's like we're little robots that all of a sudden caught a virus. And through this, we've been disconnected from divine source and just dealing with the technology and being able to go out and go to work and do all these things that we're used to doing. And now that it's been taken away, we're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And that uncomfortable feeling, it's our spirit freaking out. It's like, hello, right now, when you don't have a choice, you might as well, because that through this, taking care of your energy, which we now need to do to keep sane, to keep feeling healthy, you know, and it's like, it's almost mandatory,
well,
you know, work on ourselves.
When we think about a computer, you know, I don't really know how they work now, but I just remember back when computers first came out and there was this whole, like, I'd get this message saying you need to defrag your computer. Now I think our computers just probably do it automatically, but I remember thinking, what does that mean? It's shifting things, it's taking things away, it's getting rid of what no longer serves this computer's highest.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what we're going through now.
In a defrag moment right now, just removing and adjusting and realigning and getting our priorities straight, right? Like, I don't even believe that businesses will run the same way. Most businesses, I think, will shift how they run, because we're seeing it's possible to not make all these mothers come to a workplace and not be able to have their kids in the same household with them and paying to have someone raise their children, right? Like, they're going to see, like, we have a lot of super women in here, right? We can juggle this stuff and it can be business as norm. We just had to get out of our own way. And I think part of this is showing us that we don't have to be the same way that we were for years and years. And I think, you know, yes, we changed, we up-leveled, everything got better, right? We thought it was getting better. But then all of a sudden, these phones came out. And I remember one of the jobs that I was working at, and I was like, oh, I get emails on my phone now. Work wants me to set up my emails to come to my personal phone. Yeah, I don't think I'm real hip with that, right? Like I was thinking, when I get off work, I don't want to be at work. And there's so many of us that your employer makes your email come to your phone because they know you can have oodles of emails coming to your phone. And so the next thing you know, you're working 24/7. Because if you're like me, I have to open the email to make sure it's not an emergency. And then I've opened the email. Now I'm thinking about work. And then I've got to reply. And I'm not even getting paid to work, right? Like that's how it was back then when they finally said, oh, well, if you don't know how to figure out how to put the email on your phone, our tech guy will do it for you. And I'm like, oh, that was not my point. I was trying to. I can only play dumb for so long. But I just didn't want to go there. And we all went there, right? We all just succumbed to working 24/7 because there are people that email at midnight. Your phone dings. What do?
That was my last job. Oh yeah, that phone did not stop.
Yeah. So I think we're getting into like a shift of how do we get back to the basics, and hopefully how do we work an 8 to 5 again, for the norm, right? Like my goal is to work 20 hours a week. So we're working on that. But sometimes it's hard to do that too, even when you work for yourself. But yeah, I think it's just going to change everything. It really is on so many levels. What else? I wrote some other things down here. Okay. Ooh, this was a good one I wrote down this morning. And so I'm just going to, if you don't mind, Myra, we'll just chat about it together. Yeah, true life priorities, somebody says. The one thing that I also heard this morning was God wants to hear from your heart. Right? And so many of us are up in our mind. And so until we can fall down into our heart space and really be able to hear what the heck our heart is saying, what the heck our heart needs to say, and the gratitude and the praise that comes from our heart to God and all is, universal source, whoever you believe in, there is a higher something, right? We can all agree to that. God is what I talk about. But if we're not singing the praises from our heart, the gratitude and the worship and the praise from our heart, what happens is exactly what I teach, exactly what I went through. When we are on lockdown and not speaking the praises and singing the praises from our heart, and I almost want to start crying right now, our body gets dis-ease.
Yep.
We get heart attacks. We get lung issues. We get breast cancer. We get all kinds of dis-ease in our body when we are not speaking the fruits of the tongue that is from our heart. It is not from the mind. It is from our heart. And the voice through your mouth is how your heart gets to share and speak. And this is the sacrifice that we give. It's the praise. The praise to God is the sacrifice that we give. So when someone says, oh, what do you mean I have to sacrifice something for God? The sacrifice is not an animal. It is not money. It is not, whatever time. It is the sacrifice from your heart and giving the praises to God, what you're thankful for. And I'm getting emotional, but
I know, and I'm getting chills.
If you're not letting that come through your mouth and telling people about the praises from your heart, it gets stuck. That is about blocked chakra energy. It's blocked heart chakra, or it could be a different chakra that gets blocked in your body. And that is exactly why we are getting sick. Exactly why people are getting cancer, why people are getting autoimmune disease, why people are getting MS, why people are getting all of this shit that we don't need to be dealing with. is because we're not releasing the praises. Sorry, Brody, I almost said a bad word. The praises from our heart space. We've got it on lockdown. We've got it on lockdown, and we're bottling it up. We're stuffing it, and we're not saying it. And maybe we don't know who to say it to. Maybe we don't know how to say it, right? Like I get my worship songs going in the morning and I'm like singing. That's the biggest thing I miss from going to an actual church location is the worship.
Yeah.
Worship. Just love that. And Leslie says, we are the vine that God uses for us to bear fruit and bless others. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Going to church. Now, here we are.
Yep. Through all this, I found myself that I even had a conversation a few days back with Kim when she was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And I told her, I go, I'm here to reaffirm everyone's faith in God.
Yes.
And because in speaking about, divine source, messages, connecting and all that, everything goes back to your faith in God. God is responsible for everything. And yeah, I say God. For me, it's God. So, but I know outside of us, inside of us, we are part of something bigger.
Right.
And we need to always be aware of that. Be grateful to God, open to God to move us and change us. Ask, but we need to do the inner work so we are able to get there. And first, it starts with He wants us to love ourselves, and we need to love ourselves enough to want to do the work and just take care of ourselves. Be positive, and aspire to grow in understanding and keep moving towards them.
Right. Absolutely. Because if we don't work on ourselves and get ourselves out of our way, right? The angels and in my book talks about we have to remove the blankets because the blankets are so heavy. We're carrying these heavy blankets, and the blankets are referring to limiting beliefs. I'm not worthy. I'm not enough. I'm not this and I'm not that, or I can't this and I can't that, right? We get stuck in that.
And everyone has blankets and they're heavy.
They're heavy.
They're heavy.
Blankets.
I had a straight jacket.
Oh my God. Right? Oh, somebody tied it in a knot for you.
Yep, but it's off.
Yeah.
It's off.
And so we need to learn how to get those blankets off, get that straight jacket off, do that inner work so that your light is so bright and you hear the term, your cup is so full, it's overflowing, and then you can give to others. You can't give if you're a dried up sponge and your light is barely on. It's just flickering its last little hope, right? Like you can't give to others. And if you're feeling the nudge of being a spiritual leader and giving hope and doing service and teaching at the highest level, you got to be good within to be able to really share, or you're going to be projecting your crap on someone else. Because what happens is when we filter messages, when we filter divine messages, they come through our lens. If our lens is rosy and happy and healthy and cleansed and cleared, we're providing whoever we're helping with a true aligned message. If we are not healthy and happy and cleansed and clear and a true clear channel, that lens comes through muddled and maybe fearful or darker than what
makes everything distorted. You just it's awful.
Yes. And so we have to work on ourselves. We have to do the self-mastery. you know,
Mhm.
and whoever you can get help to do that with, great. You know, like Myra, she's a spiritual leader. She's gone through my mastermind. Like, she's an amazing gal to work with. Kim, she's getting ready to go into my mastermind. Trish was on this morning. She's in my mastermind. Like, if you resonate with these women, reach out to them. If you don't resonate with me, cool. Reach out to someone you resonate with and get some help, because you got to be the best you can be to be able to help others. And I know this group wants to help other people. Almost everybody in here is like, yes, I feel the nudge. I feel the nudge.
We're so connected to each other, you know? I mean, yeah. And people need to just reach out, because it's like there's so many like me, like you, that it's like, okay, we're here. And I don't like to see anyone down or, beating themselves up. And right now it's like I go into a supermarket and I'm there. I don't come out with anything, but I've been talking to everybody in the supermarket trying to like, come on, cheer up, and things can be better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better.
Totally. Yeah. There was a serviceman the other day, and we were going down the grocery aisle, and he was looking at this bare shelf, and there was just a couple of items there. And I'm just kind of also just in awe of what is left, because I'm thinking, okay, what is the basics that I need, and I'm thinking, what can I make with that? What can I make with that? Do I have everything to make that? And I look over, and this serviceman's in his uniform, and he's just kind of staring. And I just thought, I'm just going to break the ice. And I said, sure helps us get creative, doesn't it?
Oh my God, I've whipped up some dinners that I've never thought of making before with different things. And I'm like, wow, this was really good. Thank you.
Right? Wow.
And I'm like, okay, you're showing me I can be a real good chef now.
Just a minute. Yeah, totally. Like, it gets us creative, gets us thinking. I even made an angel food cake, and I haven't baked anything in forever. We bought a little oven. It's this little portable oven. We've got the little microwave, which I hardly ever use a microwave. And we've got the double hot plate, because we've got a makeshift kitchen here where we're at. And like I said earlier on the call, I'm like, we were used to eating out most of the time and just having some just here, because it just was easier. And so when all this hit the fan, I was like, I got to stock a freezer. I don't have I've got one pizza, one gluten pizza.
But you're around, so obviously you've gotten very creative.
Creative. And then we've got the adult kids, and I'm like, have they prepared? Are they prepared? Do I need a little extra in case they need to come and eat? It's like, I don't know how long we're going to need to have stocked up. We don't have a big old deep freeze.
See, and that's a point that you just made, that people too, this situation has brought people closer to think about one another. I know that we've had neighbors where we ended up meeting a neighbor, didn't know her before this happening, and now we found out, oh, she works for a water company. She started giving us water when there was no water in the stores to be found. She started giving to her other neighbors, and it's like we're all helping each other. Yeah. We cook, and it's like, if we, extras, it's like we're knocking next door. Hey, so it's just, I don't know. I find
it's like text. Do you need anything? I'll leave it hanging on your door handle.
It's to me, I'm liking it because since I'm in a good place, what I say, my world, everything is going fine. It's happy and we're blessed. And I'm seeing that I think this is going to make a nice change for everyone. Yeah. It's like I found I care about my neighbors more. I know I'm concerned of the older people that live in a certain house that I'm like, oh my God, let me go check on them. Stuff like that. And I'm not the only one.
It reminds me of when 9/11 happened, right? We all kind of started coming together. Well, and we've fallen away from that again. It's so sad that it takes something this pivotal to rock the world to make us come together. And we really need to come together and stay together and not fall back into our old ways. It's so sad because I can remember visiting New York City after, I think it was a year or two after, a year or two after 9/11. I went to see my sister's graduation from college, and I'm chatting up everybody on the subway, and my sister's like, Stace, like, we don't do that. We don't do that. We don't talk on the subway. And I'm like, what? What happened after 9/11? I thought everybody was friendly. And I was like, sorry, I'm just going to still talk to people.
Right? I people really can't let that happen. That's what I'm like, just holding on to that. This change, it has to be a permanent change. I really feel, I mean, that's why it's worldwide,
Yes.
and not just in one isolated part of the world.
Right. Yes.
So
totally agree. Thank you, Myra, for sharing your tips and your insight. I love it. I've missed seeing you. It's been a while. It's been too long. It's been too long.
Yeah, I know. I want to hug you. I want to hug you, though.
Social hug. Social distance hug. Okay.
Oh, no, we got to elbow each other now.
The elbow. And my grandson, when he was little and we first started teaching high fives, he always was doing the elbow. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. He started this a long time ago, and now everybody's like doing the elbows. Oh, man. Thank you. So I just want to just reiterate to everyone that is feeling overwhelmed and disconnected. I'll put a link into my free PDF gift that I'm offering. It's 5 steps to relieve anxiety. It's a lot of what we all talked about today, grounding and God's white light and surrounding yourself with a bubble and calling in Archangel Michael, and just calm yourself and breathe and visualize, everything's going to be okay. This too shall pass, and God's got you. We've got to step out in faith. And this is what faith is built upon. This is what faith is built upon. We are not always in control. I know for myself, like, I want to know, what time are we getting there? What am I supposed to be wearing? What? And my husband, he's probably listening back here. I get a little freaked out if he unexpectedly says, we're doing this. Oh, wait a minute, but I need to know, blah, 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 blah. Like, am I supposed to do my makeup in my head? And that's one of my downfalls. Like, I freak out over some of this silly stuff. And this is a bigger essence of that. And this is what builds faith. And so just know this is going to strengthen all of our faith. I mean, what's the alternative, right? Like, you're going to have a panic attack. You're going to make yourself sick. You're like, we don't want that. So the alternative is trust, fall into your heart space, sing praises, thank God that you're alive. You've got a place to be. You've got what you need, right? Your family is okay. Hopefully, prayers for those that are struggling with illness and the virus. Like, we sending you all our love and prayer, but focus on the gratitude. Focus on what you can do. Turn off that TV. If it's super important, someone's going to let you know, right? Like, I figure if it's super important, I'm going to see it on Facebook, right? Because everybody's on Facebook now. But don't succumb to that downward spiral of that media hype, because it doesn't have to be that way in your space. You can create a loving, compassionate, caring, uplifting, high vibrational space. So that helps your health too, right? Like, if you're in that space, you're not going to succumb to getting sick, right? You're going to be in a better space. So, and reach out to each other, connect, make sure everybody's okay. Give a beautiful word from God for them that's on your heart. Feel into what it is that God is telling you to share with them. I'm not saying to give advice. I'm not saying to be the know-it-all of everything, but maybe they just need to know that God loves them.
Yeah.
That they're going to be okay. Sending them peace and well-wishings. Yes, like Leslie says.
That no one's alone. Yeah.
Alone. Even though, and that's the thing too, is a lot of people may feel alone if they don't have family. Right? They may have their fur babies and that's it, and they're stuck at home. So reach out to those friends. Make sure that they know that you're thinking about them.
It's everyone. Love everyone.
Oh, I know. Awesome. Awesome. Well, love to you out there in California, Myra. I hope
Okay.
that you all stay safe and in that high vibrational frequency. And
Got to.
we will be back with you soon. And so I'm just going to pull you down and say goodbye to everybody. I think my other guest may have had something pop up. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I don't see. So that's okay. We'll get her on the next call. So thanks, Myra. We'll see you later.
You're welcome. Love you.
Love you too.
Love to everybody.
Bye. Oh, thank you guys for joining me on this live today. And if you're catching the replay, type in the comments what resonated the most with you, what helped you the most, and let us know if there's something else that would be a great topic to cover, because we're here. I'm here. I would like to help you, serve you at the highest level. And Brody says he's here too. So we're all sending you love and light. And know that my mini course is coming out soon. So if that's something that you're like, man, I'd like something to do, something that's going to raise my vibration, something that's going to help me get into alignment with what I'm here to do. I'm like crazily, like it's 90% off, and we're getting that launched here really soon. We're just getting the technical side done, and maybe that'll be your next step. So love to see all of you. Thank you to my beautiful guests for being on. And until the next video, angel kisses, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. You want to say bye, Brody?
Bye.
Bye. And there we go.